guess what? I'm here with another monthly wrap-up. I know, right? Like, what is happening? Who is this person making these videos? It's me. So I'm going to talk to you about the books that I read in July. The first book that I read was The Nanny Diaries by Emma McLaughlin and Nicola Krauss. And I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I had already seen the movie before reading this, so it was a little interesting to read this and see all the differences while reading it. That's how that works. But I really liked it. It's actually pretty different from the movie, or the movie is pretty different from the book while still being similar, if that makes any sense. Like, the story is really similar, but a lot of all the specific things that happen are all different. The characters are really similar, the overarching story is similar, but all the specific pieces that make up the story are really different. So, The Nanny Diaries, the book, is about a girl whose name you don't actually find out. She's just called Nanny in it. She gets a job as a nanny, but it's not her first job as a nanny, it's her normal job. She's currently in her last year of university, and she gets this job nannying this kid 15 hours a week or 20 hours a week, I think, basically picking him up from school, making him supper. And the mother is ridiculous and can't be pleased and has no job but somehow still doesn't have time for her kid. And she asks the world, basically demands the world of Nanny, and she ends up working like 80 hours a week and staying so late that she misses her classes, whole bunch of stuff. So it's just about her dealing with that and also feeling like she can't quit because she feels bad for the kid that she's nannying because she loves him and he loves her and she doesn't want to leave him with the mother who clearly doesn't care about him. And I really enjoyed it. I didn't really think it had... There was like nothing about it that really bothered me. I didn't really think there was anything wrong with it that needed to be worked on. There wasn't really anything about it that really made me fall in love with it. But I did think it was really good, which was why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I also read/listened to the Night Circus, so I have read the Night Circus before, 6 or 7 years ago. It's one of my all-time favorite books. It's my favorite book. There we go, we'll just say that. So I'm just holding this up so you can see the cover, but I listened to it on audiobook, and I am not good at listening to audiobooks. 20 minutes, half an hour will go by and I realize I haven't been paying attention to it. So it took me a long time. I actually started listening to it last year, and I only listened to a few hours of it before I realized I couldn't pay attention to it. But it really bugged me that it was sitting in my currently reading on Goodreads. So I had a few car trips within a semi-short period of time, and so I listened to the rest of it during the car trips. And I got chunks that I was able to listen to, but because I've already read the story, I felt like I was still able to get a lot out of it even though I was missing big chunks of it because I already know the story and I know a lot of stuff that happens. And the parts that I was able to pay attention to, I just fell in love with it all over again, and I would love to reread this like physically very soon. I heard there's a movie coming out which frightens me. But I'll definitely probably reread it before the movie comes out and see the movie and probably cry because it's not going to do this book justice. But I loved it. It's narrated by Jim Dale and he does a fantastic job. If you like audiobooks, I highly recommend the Night Circus audiobook. It's just the one guy, but he does different voices and accents really, really well, and he just does such a great job. He does such a good job. I loved listening to him when I was able to listen to him. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I also read Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. And I enjoyed this. I didn't really like it that much, but I did like it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And it's about a girl who wants to go to school for theater directing. And she needs an acting credit in order to get accepted to the school that she wants to go to. So she auditions for Romeo and Juliet at her school, thinking she's just going to get a teeny tiny little part. And she ends up getting the role of Juliet. So basically it's about her doing that, and also the fact that she believes that everyone she dates will just find the person that's perfect for them. So then she's never going to have someone who's perfect for her. But I just felt like a lot of the story was shallow. And I felt like the main character was really shallow as well. And all of the characters, I just felt like they were all sort of flat. And even like their dialogue and the stuff that they talked about, it just didn't seem like deep to me in any way, like, and not that a story needs to be deep, like, there's a lot of really lighthearted stories that I love, but I feel like the characters still feel real and, like there's something to them, I guess, and I just didn't really feel like that with this. It also really bothered me, there's like one part where there's like a fight with friends, that's a normal thing that happens, and the apology that happens, was not an apology, and then it really bugs me, because then it gets called the perfect apology, and I was like, but no, you need to say something else about this, because you did a terrible thing. Ugh, so anyway, there were a lot of things that bothered me about it, and it just didn't really wow me, but it was still fine. It was fine. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. And I actually, so this has been on my TBR for a while, and I didn't even know that it was a graphic novel. I thought it was a novel, or I knew it was a graphic novel and I forgot. But for some reason, over the past while, anytime I saw the cover, I thought it was just a novel. And I was going to my library to check out some comics and graphic novels, and I saw this in the graphic novel section, and I was like, I didn't know there was a graphic novel version of this book. But no, it's just a graphic novel. There's no novel version. But I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was adorable and amazing and so sweet, and it made me cry, and I loved it so very, very much, and I want my own copy. It was so good. I also really enjoyed the artwork and the facial expressions in it. Like, I really liked it. Like, her. She's great. But anyway, I am just gushing, and I can't think of any words to say. So it's about a prince who hires a seamstress to secretly be his dressmaker because he likes to wear dresses and pretend to be a girl, and it was so good, and it was fabulous, and it was fun, and it was heartwarming, and it was so good. It was just so good. That's all I have to say about it. You should read it. And the last book that I read is Paper Girls Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan, and it doesn't say on the front who it's by. Brian K. Vaughan and an artist, Cliff Chang, and also Matt Wilson and Jared K. Fletcher. They all worked on it together. They all deserve credit. It was okay. I thought it was weird. But weird in like a weird way, because it was just a lot of weird stuff that was not explained, and I just didn't really know what was happening a lot of the time. And I felt like the story moved incredibly fast. So I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. So it's just about this girl who delivers papers, and she ends up meeting other girls who deliver papers, and then weird stuff happens with possible aliens, and they're all kind of sucked into it together, because it happens in the morning when they're out delivering papers. And yeah, it's been compared to Stranger Things, which, I don't know, I guess maybe. But I am interested to pick up more and see where the story continues and see if I end up liking it more. But it didn't wow me. It was interesting. I also read 4 books for the Reading Rush, and I've already uploaded that video, so if you haven't seen it yet, just stick around for like 2 more seconds and I'll have it on my end screen. Alright, goodbye, have a good day.